I want you to think about children, all right? And now I want you to think about the childhood self you were. Cool? All right. Now I want you to think on the experiences that you had as a child. Why, you're asking? Well, because I'm here to say those experiences that you had as a child just may make who you are today. And I'm here to talk all about that. Hello, my name is Ryan, and this is a video of drawing while talking. And today I'm talking about the effect that our childhood can have on our future. And I'll say can because it doesn't mean that it will, it just means it can happen. Today I'm drawing my comic. This is Evident Death. And now I did start this drawing on camera, but I did mess up what I was saying. I'll try not to do that again because really there's no way for me to start from the scratch here. I've just got to keep going. So I do apologize that you can't see the start of this video, but hey ho, it is what it is. Am I right? It is a bit unfortunate. But yeah, I hope you stick around for this video and see what's more to come. Anyway, let's get right into it. Our brains as adults, ooh, they aren't good. I mean, I'm only 21 years old right now, and even I can say my brain wasn't as intaking to information. My brain doesn't intake to information as well as it did when I was a kid. Or better yet, even when I was 17, I take in information a lot better than I do now. Although I know the tools to intake information now, still, yeah, my younger self would learn a lot easier than I do now. And why that is because as we're growing up, we're obviously learning critical, fundamental information on how to live and survive, to live and survive in the future, pretty much. And we have this because of evolution. So obviously, our human babies aren't born ready and able to live instinctively just as animals are. Obviously, humans are still an animal, but we're different. It's because of our intelligence, from my understanding, that basically takes up too many attribute points, like it's some video game from this baby, that it can't develop that much. It's because our heads are too big, from what I know, and as sad as that is, that means our babies have to be born pretty much premature. Even though they're not premature, it's like growth premature. They're not ready to fight the world yet, as a calf would. It's born walking on its four legs and ready to chow grass. Do you know what I'm saying? But babies, they can't walk, they can't talk, they can't move, they can't think, they can't speak, nothing. We have to show them all of that over the course of 18 years. Amazing, right? So basically, as a kid, your brain is very malleable for that makeup. We pick intelligence over physicalness, and our brains are a lot more malleable to intake that information. So as a kid, if you grow up feeling safe, so basically your nervous system is on low input and you're not in fight or flight mode, and generally you can remember your childhood as an adult, then that means you grew up safe. But if you weren't, oh wait, sorry. If you were to grow up safe, you would learn that the world is safe. But in the opposite, if a child was to grow up basically with neglect or to expect danger or in any somewhat sort of threat, basically the adverse of living safe, your fight or flight system is on, your nervous system is regularly, engaging, and yeah, as an adult, you don't remember much most of the time. Basically, that imparts the need to stay alert because something bad could happen at any moment in time, and this could even be now. Here, drawing this picture, something bad could happen right now. All right. So those are the key differences to know, really, if you had a bad childhood in your books. If you've got that feeling constantly or not, if you feel the world is safe or not, that's because of your childhood, from what your nervous system picked up as a child, because it's learning. But this developmental, I'll explain it a little bit more. So I can't remember what philosopher said this. It might have been Plato or what's his name? Theseus? No, it's not Theseus. I can't remember. It's one of the old, the pre-philosophers, right? Think of a child's brain as a wax tablet, but instead of wax, it's obviously honey, right? And as time grows, that honey turns into the wax, the crystal, the crystallized honey. God, I don't know if that makes sense. I hope so. But basically, as a child, this honey tablet can be easily pressed in and molded to have their parents, pretty much their parents' fingertips all over it. And the idea is that the parent should impart all they know onto the child for their child's brain to be roughly the same as the parents. That's why even as a child in the womb, you pick up your mother's nervous system that she has while she's pregnant, because it's imparting as much of the parent as it can onto the child. It's evolution. We're trying to evolve as quick as we can. So the whole purpose is to learn, survive, and then do it all over again. Get it? That is the evolutionary purpose of life. Just learn and fuck. Pretty much it. But in modern day society, that don't work out too straight, because we don't do that anymore. We don't do that gig. There's no survival. We're at the top of the food chain. So what happens now? Well, what happens now is that these parents in modern day society, we're confused because we no longer need to survive. Sorry, I need to move my camera to do this angle correctly. So we no longer have that, vicious need to survive, like predator prey survival. We don't have that. What we have now is just, this civil survival. Can I make enough money for food this month? Can I pay the bills? Oh, money, 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 money. That's all it fucking is now. And even yet, none of us know what to do, because who is told how to make money as a child? No one. Goddamn, unless your parents are rich, you're probably not told what to do with money or how to get money or anything with money. So if your parents don't teach you money, you don't survive in this society. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Sorry. But let's keep going, right? So these parents that don't know how to raise their children correctly anymore, they try and teach these kids what they know, but modern society isn't just the last 10 years. It's been going on for a long time. And, even before modern society, agriculture was the one to remove that very brute survival. So you could even argue it started back then, but obviously we're learning agriculture. We don't. It's currency, industrial age, consumption. All those things is basically what's fucked it all up. But that's a whole nother thing, which I won't get onto. So these parents impart different things onto their children because they are confused individuals that don't know how to raise a kid properly. And they don't bother to learn for some reason, which is bizarre. I'm just going to take a sip of some water and just do a quick intermission. So I may seem very odd. I may seem very odd today. I'll just tell you straight up. I'm taking a break off smoking. This is day one. Day one, baby. I'm feeling alright. I'm sweating my ass off. My words aren't coming out like words. They're coming out like Klingon. And yeah, overall, I'm like foggy in the head, which is alright. It's alright. As long as I can just force it through 2 weeks, I'm living free forever. So that's alright. I've done this a few times now, and it's voluntary, really. So don't even feel sorry for me, because I'm choosing to do this. I wanted to do it. I'm just fogged up right now. Anyway, break over. Nice 1 minute break. So, where I was saying the things these confused parents put on their children mean that these children learn the wrong thing. And then they grow up to be confused individuals as well. And this is where that whole philosophical thing comes in, because there's obviously the story, the allegory of the men in the cave by Plato. And it goes as such as 3 men are stuck in a cave. There's a fire in front of them, and there's people behind them. They can't see, they can't turn their head at all to look at these people behind them, and these people behind them are playing figures, like shadow figures, from this fire onto the wall in front of these prisoners and cast an illusion their whole life. And now one of these prisoners breaks free out of the cave, sees the real world, and thinks it's beautiful. And now the normal version, the actual version, if I remember correctly, he then just takes up this way of the truth. But the modern version is that he goes back to the men in the cave, his brothers basically, and tries to convince them to leave for them to just shame him. But that part we're not talking about that part, right? The part I'm focusing on here is the start of it. So think of you as a child. You are that prisoner. You are those prisoners that are watching the illusions, because those illusions aren't illusions. That's just your domestic world. The domestic world that you live in as a child is an illusion. And the illusioners, I think that's what you call them, are your parents. They're the ones to make up everything that you know about this world and tell you that is fact. And I don't know if your parents did do this, but that's what the majority of parents do, right? And I swear to God, if anyone tries to tell me I'm wrong on this, I will go out there and prove this to you, because I see it hundreds of times a day that this is exactly what parents do. They just throw their kid off with what they believe instead of searching for the truth for their kid. And it's obvious that's all right to make that, mistake if you don't know any better. But here's the thing: now that I'm saying that's wrong, there we go. It's put out into the world. That's wrong to raise your kids that way. You should search for the truth, because the last thing you want is to cast an illusion onto their mind. But basically, this illusion then, when you grow up, let's say, reach the age of 16, in the UK at 16, I don't know if the same for anywhere else in the world, but Americans, you don't matter to me. Basically, in the UK at 16, you can get a job. So if you're like me, at 16, you got a job. I got a job working as a barista. So I'm in retail customer services. And I quickly learned that everything I have learned as a child is absolute bullshit. The bullshit. Bullshit. And obviously there's an emotional tie in that for me to basically call it out like that. So very sorry about that. That's the topic of this discussion. And basically, once you learn it's all an illusion, then forever you are stuck on this path of trying to find out what is the right thing. Then if this is wrong, what is right? And welcome to the majority of people's lives, trying to find out where their head is at, trying to find out what is true. And it's a thing they will never find out. Because once you're not that child anymore, your chances of learning as much as you did as a child are very hard. And I'm not saying impossible, because if you really work on it, it will be done. If you believe it to be true and that you can do it, it will be done. So I'm not saying impossible. It's a process called reparenting yourself. And also therapy and other, things can solve it and fix it, I guess you could say. I don't know about fix, but yeah, you can get it done. But anyway, moving on now. So obviously we now know basically on how these beliefs come about, this trauma comes about, and basically if you find out it is all a lie, you end up on this path like a lot of other people in this world. But if you don't find out, here's the thing: you will forever be like some... My brain wants to say like a sheep, like the rest of the people. But to me, that's just not right. I don't know if you'll stay a confused individual. So your whole life you will stay confused, and then one day you may have a child as well, and just like your parents did, you will mess that kid up. You will mess that child up that now you've just had, because you're a confused individual, which is very depressing. Very, very depressing, I should say. So yeah, those are basically that's basically the reason you want to avoid confusion. You want to stay out the way of the truth. But if we're talking about children now, it's hard, because what do you do? Well, there's nothing you can do to your childhood self anymore. That's your childhood. It's been and gone, mate. All right? But as an adult now, you've got that reparenting that you can do, and that's fine. But we're going to take a step back. I think I've said that already, because I've got more to talk about. So when you're learning all this as a child, obviously we all know we've got the stress response. the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Yeah? There's four reactions that you can have. It's not fight or flight system. It's fight, flight, which we obviously all know what those are because we've been around them our whole lives now. Freeze, you literally freeze. You just accept what's going to happen. And then fawn, this one's new to me as well. I didn't really know this existed until today when I'm trying to just re-go over the subject. Fawn is basically accepting those circumstances, but also working to work with those circumstances. You're being a baby with those circumstances. A fawn, I don't know, a slave to it, let's say. But anyway, children who live with this stress response, that when it's constantly active, that means it's overreactive. And then later in life, because of that prolonged activation, it has caused sustained damage, which is no good to anyone. Because what it leads to is the fact that you may strongly react to situations just as you did situations similar to what you had as a child, and you won't know what happened, what that is. So you may have an argument with your partner, and then you snap or something, and then you don't even know why you've just snapped, and now you're broken. You got that broken numbshell feeling because you're there thinking, why did I just absolutely go livid on her? Well, because that's some reaction that you've just had instilled in you as a child, and it's still there, still buried deep in your nervous system. It's mad. This is where the worst of it comes in, right? This is where the worst fact about what happens to you as a child. When you're a child, the parents that you have and a relationship that they have, that affects the relationships you will have. So if your parents constantly share their love together, I don't mean, I mean literally show affection to each other, and it's like a public display. You can see that your parents love each other. You're more likely to be in a loving relationship when you're older. But if your caregivers are, let's say, unpredictable, they reject you, they're abusive, they're frightening, so on and so forth, you may develop one of those other attachment styles. And I'm saying other because insecure attachment isn't just the only one. You've got what's it? Oh, this is running my brain back quite a little bit now. So you've got attached, anxious, avoidant, and I want to say dependent, but I'm not too sure. I can't remember now. But you've got these other forms of attachments that can happen rather than just being normal. Yeah? So basically, the parents that you had very severely affect the relationship that you have as well with your future partner. So if you're there wondering, if you are one of these people that have quite a bad relationship with your partner because of these circumstances, this type of attachment style, you may want to look into your childhood and think upon it, because I'm here to tell you there just may be an answer buried in your childhood. And I think for most of us, we can remember what our parents were like. So, yeah, it's a tough one because, I mean, my parents divorced when I was 6. So I'm there thinking, right now, whew, well, what does that mean I am? It's funny. It's funny. But here's the thing, right? Because maybe some of you are there thinking, well, bro, this is me as a child, yeah? I'm an adult now. How have I not just overwritten these, well, feelings, these problems in me? And I'm going to tell you why. You never forget these. It's because the body remembers. The body just fucking remembers it. Straight up, bro. Oops, sorry, I moved you. So it's weird. Going back to that honey tablet, that's the brain there, but the body keeps its score. So I've got this book by this guy called Vex King, and it's called Healing is the New High. And in this book, he explains this topic and how the body can, in terms like an I'm sorry guys, I'm kind of crashing up here. It's kind of not physical, it remembers. It's not like it carries actual scars on your body, but there's these metaphysical scars on your body that affect how you feel, the emotions, because if you are someone that feels your emotions good, then you may notice that you actually feel them in your body. So think about that for a second, because the body will also remember those feelings that you had as a child. It keeps track of it all. It keeps score. And I want to do more learning into that subject, although I may not. It's just a very interesting facet of information that I like. Because I find the fact that your body keeps count of it very interesting, and I don't know enough about it, but just notice that. And there is healing strategies that you can employ to fix those if you so deem it wrong. And that's another point. If you believe those parts of you are wrong, well, you can fix them, bro. You can always fix them. I mean, my best advice is like therapy or meditative, stuff. Wander into your mind and do it yourself, basically. Because, well, the mind is yours. You don't sometimes need a therapist to help you. You just need to be honest with yourself to help you. You know what I'm saying, bruv? You can help you sometimes. So, that's pretty much like all of it. And now I've discussed quite nicely on, helping these problems. But if you're someone who, is suffering from trauma from your early childhood, the best things I can advise on recovery is to surround yourself with good relationships, the opposite of the experiences that you had as a child. And I say this because they'll help us learn that way of life was not the correct way. Say, I used to hang out with a bunch of fucking cunts in high school, pretty much. I had a best friend who was an absolute asshole. And yeah, like, I really learned, oh, these are what friends are. Well, I'm pretty much get bullied, and that's all right. And then as I grew up, got a job, and then learned otherwise, oh man, I totally hated those people. I hated them every second. Every fucking second, I started hating those people. And just the more people I surrounded myself with, the more that changed. You know, it started from, I hate these people, to, oh, well, you know, I don't really care about them anymore, to, oh, I feel sorry for them, to, I couldn't even care about them anymore. So, yeah, surrounding yourself with the right kind of crowd really does help you, because it gives you insight to other people and what other people are, what other people have experienced, you know, and it's not just surround yourself with these people, actually talk to them. You may need to get in the crowd like a little bit, but actually talking to them will help you understand that you lived your life your way, they lived their life their way, but by camaraderie, you can heal. Second is therapy. And now you may hear a bit of a tinge in my mouth when I say therapy, because I don't really like therapy. I'm one of those men. And I got my reasons, because I've tried therapy and the therapist didn't even show up to the therapy, bro. It was really bad. It was a really bad point in time for me, and I was trying all I could. I didn't have no money, so I relied off this workplace therapy thing. It was an actual like therapy thing online that our work had fully like, what's the word, like, got on board or whatever. I don't know. But I booked it in. I waited like a whole week, because that's the earliest I could get it in. I was feeling bad, bro. And then I get on the meeting. I get into it 2 minutes earlier. I'm sat waiting 15 minutes. The time passes, and I get an email. Oh, sorry, you didn't even turn up, so I cancelled it. Oh my god, I literally went wild. And I tried rebooking it several times, and yeah, couldn't happen. But I'm too broke to have normal fucking therapy, you know. I can't pay for a full on therapist. So if you've got therapy money, if you've got a therapist already, or if you have access to proper therapy, fucking do it. Do it, do it, do it, do it. But if you're someone like me who doesn't have access to therapy, finds the option of therapy hard, and has already had negative experiences with trying to get therapy, and it's not saying that I wouldn't try again. I absolutely would try again if I needed it, but I don't need it because I've had what I needed. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't need it because I'm already fine right now. But if you're someone that needs therapy, get therapy. It's a sound decision, all right? Second, mindfulness. You know, learning to have self-awareness of how you feel, how you think, how you speak, how you move, how you stand, all of that. Having pure mindfulness about your body and yourself helps heal as well. Because the time when you recognize what is wrong with you, and then recognize, oh, it's not me, it's my parents' fault. And that is the correct one. By the way, I should just really fucking shove it in the parents' faces, man. It is their fault that you messed up. When you learn that, and you can point directly to the parts of you that you don't like, you can use the trick of staying mindful to then change those things. Because, I mean, me, I used to smoke too much to really do this because I'd forget what the negative was too much. Which is, I shouldn't be laughing at, but I just find it too funny now that I'm like in a nice state. But, ooh, brain work. Sorry. So when you notice what's wrong and you've got the art of staying mindful about it, then you can say to yourself in moments where you feel pressurized by this old form of you, this belief that you have, or this trauma that's coming back, you can stand up to it and say, that's not me, that's my old self, I am now this. But because you're staying mindful, that's the skill of, you will notice when it comes up. Ooh, camera's a bit... Oh, what's my camera doing? It's not doing that. Okay. Very sorry. I don't like when that happens. I'm sure you don't either. So because we can stay mindful, that's when we can realize the ill-maintained order within our brain, and we can step right in there and fix it up. And I absolutely recommend being mindful, because it is one of the most powerful healing methods to just recognize whatever's going on inside you. Just get right in there in the moment that you can and just fix it right up. Simple, day's done. Yeah? You agreeing with me here? I hope you are, because this is really, really valuable information. And then next, we have self-compassion. So it's basically gratitude in a gist. And now, I don't really view it as a healing method, but it was just one that was suggested. So the fact of gratitude, that will help you. Well, I don't really know, bro. That was just suggested to me. So I'm just gonna say it and hop right over it. Emotional regulation. Emotional regulation is great. This is what I'm learning recently, actually. So I have downloaded an app called How We Feel, and it's totally free. It's an absolutely free app. I'm telling you, download it right now, right this second. Download How We Feel. Bro, download it. I'm telling you, bro, please download this app. I have no link to it. I don't even remember who made it. It was just on some emotional intelligence podcast I was listening to, and I jumped on it, and I feel great, because it just has that tool to log your emotion then and there in the moment that you feel them, and then you can come back and read through your emotion 2 weeks time when you've logged, 3 or 4 or 2 even emotions a day, and you can see where you're getting on course with it. Just download that app, check it out, and just make sure you do it several times a day. Write down the reasons why you're feeling that, and you'll just slowly start to build this sense inside you of emotion. And when you go back through and look at these emotions, you'll remember that moment. And then if you think about that moment in the future, you can also combat that problem or that emotion a lot easier. And then you've also got tools that will help you. Not obviously, there is in the app, but in real life, you've got tools and systems that you can employ when you're feeling an emotion that you don't want to feel. You can use these tools to reset yourself to an emotion that you like. All right? It's a really good way of regulating yourself. So when you're hit by those traumatic events that make you feel down, you can pull these tricks out of the bag and bring yourself back to goodness. Bear with me, I just need a toilet. Thank you very much for waiting there. I feel great now that I've released that. Where was I? So when you use these tools to combat those emotions, you can help yourself back to an even level. And I find that great. Meditation is probably the best one there to bring yourself to a better state of mind. And I'll just swoop that in as another point, is meditation will help us reach a calmer state of mind. You've got breathing tactics where you can tap in to your subconscious mind and basically pray messages over to it. Slowly but surely, you can work your mind through to a state of mind that you prefer. So, I like staying focused, keeping in action, and trying to stay positive. But positive, thoughts isn't exactly the needed thing. It's just feeling a positive or present emotion, right? So every single morning when I wake up, because there's that little slot of time that you have when you wake up from your sleep, where your subconscious is still there, it's still, the one in primary function, your prefrontal cortex is still waking up. If you use meditation during that point in time, what will happen is that you will find your subconscious will calm down a lot more and be a lot more calmer during the day. And I absolutely recommend trying this just once or twice. Obviously, the prerequisite is that you need to know how to meditate first. You need to know the breathing technique to tap into the subconscious. And that's quite simple. I could teach you, really anyone could teach you. It's just breathing and moving your jaw around. And don't just take that off of my advice that I've just given there, because it's really a little bit more than that. But I'd love to make a video on how to meditate my way. But this meditation, I have found, helps me very deeply, because I can go through a lot more days without emotional troubles. So try it out one time, trying to meditate. Lastly, we've got creating routines. So I'm someone who, I don't know if I am, because I'm not diagnosed, but I believe I have autism. And it's obviously on the low levels, whereas I'm fully functioning. I'm just a bit different. All right. And so many people diagnose themselves as it. So, I could be one of those people, or I could actually be one of those people. You never know. God knows. But I'm just saying it right now because it's the case of conversation. I don't spit it out there. Anyway, fucking hell. Anyway, so being autistic, routines are something that really help me stay able to, live. If my routine gets messed up, life feels chaotic, disordered, and I fall down a jar. But if my routine is perfectly in order, everything feels at peace, correct, just the way it needs to be, like a piece of a puzzle, and everything falls into a perfect place. So even if you're autistic or not, my suggestion is find a routine, make a routine, build one, whatever, that you like, that can help you. And obviously the thing being here, it really just needs to be in the morning, things that help you, in the day, things that help you and you like, and in the night, things you like. That's pretty much the gist of it for me. I'll wake up, I'll clean, I'll eat, I'll cook, whatever, anything really that I need to do. But generally in the morning, it's work, work, work. Day, it's work, break, work, break, work, break. And in the night, it's just full rest mode. It can even be a routine as simple as that. Now, obviously, I've got my routine written down. Whether or not I fully obey it, it's up to me. But yeah, having a routine keeps the chaos at bay, helps form a better sense of identity. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And my last point in healing is journaling. So, right at the start of the video of this, long video I'm making, right at the start of this video, I mentioned one thing, that us as adults, everything goes by too quick for us to remember. You may have forgotten I said that. I may have forgotten I said that because I did 2 clips. So it might have been in my first one. I have forgotten when I said it. I just know I said it. So everything goes by too quick for us to remember. So when you're on this healing journey, trying to understand your thoughts, yeah, or understand how to help yourself, the fact that you will forget and forget and forget time and time again is never going to be something that helps you. But to remember is going back to that honey tablet. When we're older, our brains are like a wax tablet, a thick wax that we really need to press into. What we need to do is keep doing it over and over and over and over again until we remember without needing to recite it. So journaling, right? We can note these things down, read it day in, day out, and remember what it is. So when we're on a healing journey and we need to remember something as in, my parents aren't who made me, I am who makes me. Just like a quote like that, just to stay on the tip of your mind to remind you. You write that down, read it and read it over and over and over again, and now that's ingrained in your mind. Just because you've read it enough times. And say when a negative emotion comes down, you will look back, or no, you won't need to look back at your journal because you've remembered it. It's like a superpower of remembering. That's how to cheat the system. Just remember the positive. And how you remember is by journaling and just reading your words again and again and again, bro. It's as simple as that. So I suggest doing, pretty much, I'll just go through it. So the only one that you really need to pay to do is therapy. Therapy is the only thing on that list that you would need to pay to do. Things like meditation, journaling, mindfulness, supportive relationships, learning emotional regulation, those are all things you can do today. Today, you can start doing that. So, are you going to say no to that opportunity to start helping yourself? Or are you going to turn off this video and sit there for a moment, probably, and think, is this guy right or wrong? Is this guy right or wrong? I don't know. Personally, I don't know if I'm right or wrong, okay? As I said, I'm just a 20-year-old who's using the accumulation of knowledge that he has to make YouTube videos. And I believe I'm right. But I'm not going to tell you that because I could be wrong, and that's just humiliating myself if I try and say I'm right. But whether or not I'm right or wrong, one of those methods is bound to work on you. If it's worked on me, it's bound to work on you. So when you sit there after this video now, I want you to just give one of them a go. And if you feel better after that, I want you to maybe rewatch this video or just go back over the points I was saying. Or if you remember them, you don't need to do this. But basically, you want to just start doing them. If one of them works for you, just take that chance, take that effort to start doing all of them. As many as you can. Especially journaling, meditation, and staying mindful. Those are the best ones for me. And I can tell you straight up, those ones work. Those are what work. Therapy is troubling. Supportive relationships is hard to get nowadays. And self-compassion, I don't really know what that is, to be honest with you. It's just confusing. I'm probably making myself sound like an absolute tool in saying that. Don't know what self-compassion is. But hey, it's my life. Don't judge me. But yeah, no, I really do. If you are someone like me, I really hope these methods help you just like they've helped me. Because the last thing I want is for an adult out there to still be hurting from their childhood self. I seriously, now that I understand it, I don't think I could ever have my worst enemy feel that way. You know, if they said to me, bro, I'm like this because of my childhood, I'd turn around and help them. That's just what happened to me as a kid. God damn it, let me prove you wrong. Let me prove you wrong. We'll go through that together, though. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this video, because that's pretty much about it from me now. I'm going to finish this drawing on my own. And yeah, I'm going to post this video tonight or tomorrow. I think I've just posted one today, so yeah, I'll probably post this one tomorrow. But yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please give me a like and subscribe. I would absolutely appreciate it. I've just sat in front of the camera for 54 minutes and 10 seconds right now, straight. So I'm hoping you appreciate this dedication in one take as well, with all my mistakes. Suck it, baby. I don't care about the fact that I make mistakes. It's all a part of the funny, right? So yeah. Anyway, that's enough from me now. And yeah, peace out.